I've been very lucky with the whole time of this podcast that I've been able to get a lot of really great guests from all kinds of different backgrounds. From the movie world to comedy to music to wrestling to right-wing political stuff. Sorry, should I edit that part out? Well, one of the guests that I've been after for a long time, pretty much since I started the podcast, was Greg Fitzsimmons. He's very funny, very witty, honest, and his podcast is fucking brilliant as well. Fitz Dog Radio. So I'd been after him for a while to get an interview with him, and eventually I'd pestered him and bothered him enough that he finally said yes, and we recorded it. But herein lies the issue. Because of where I live and because of where he lives in America, I think it's LA. I live in Ireland, I think it's called Belfast. So for me to do these interviews, I have to do them online over the computer. I can't phone Americans because that would cost me so much money that it's almost not worth the fucking time. That would take up all my ad money, all my YouTube money, just to make a fucking 20-minute phone call. I'm not going to do that. So what happened was Greg agreed to do it via Skype, but then for whatever reason on the day of recording, not his fault that this has also happened to me, so I'm not pointing the blame, his Skype wouldn't open up. So he tried to then do it on his phone, which kind of is one of the problems, is that, and I say this to all podcasters who I'm trying to interview or I'm giving advice to, so to speak, who I think I am to be giving advice. But I would say, don't use your phone ever, because the sound is always bad, the picture quality is always bad, the connection's always bad, and it just never works. And of all the interviews I've ever done, the shittiest sounding interviews have been over the phone. So Greg couldn't get that done. I was trying to get StreamYard and Streamlabs set up on the computer, but it was my first time ever, and it was against the grain against the clock. I really should edit all this embarrassing shit, but I won't. Fuck me. So he said he would do it via FaceTime. Now, here's the problem with FaceTime. You can't record it. Like, it's a call and that's it. There was no way for me to save the phone. And on top of that, because he was on his phone, the signal kept cutting in and out. And on top of that, there was a time delay. So not only do we have a bad signal, there's then like a 5-6 second delay between each fucking question. And on top of that, to make it even worse, I just think he didn't like me. And I think we instantly didn't get along. And anytime I tried to make a joke, it bombed. And it was very, very awkward. And on top of that, because he was using FaceTime, I had to then record it using the audio from it on the main photo booth camera on my computer. And so I couldn't use a microphone or a headset. So the sound was shit on my half. The sound is bad on his half. And on top of that, he really didn't fucking like me. And it was so awkwardly great that I thought, right, I'm keeping this in. Because, well, frankly, maybe the name will get a bit of clickbait on the downloads. I don't know. But I do hope that someday it happens again and we can do it properly, because Greg Fitzsimmons is hilarious. I'm blaming it all on fucking internet apps and stuff, but this thing is so awkward that I thought I have to share it. And remember, if you want to see the video version, Hughezy Entertainment on YouTube, unless you're already watching this on Hughezy Entertainment and I've just wasted 4 seconds of your life. So here is, unfortunately, the unfortunate, extremely awkward interview with the great Greg Fitzsimmons. Greg, hello. And to show proof that stalking always works after a while, for about the past year at least, I've been stalking this man, not just because of his body, but because of his comedic mind. We got the legendary Greg Fitzsimmons here today. Greg, how you doing?
Well, my body's better than ever. I've been in quarantine for 10 days, and my son has gotten me into exercise. So we've been doing yoga. The whole family's doing yoga in the back, taking some bike rides, running, and I feel like $1 million.
Well, I've been kind of doing the same, apart from I've been masturbating myself into an early grave.
Yeah.
And then the day after, I found out that coronavirus happened.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking is like, what if there's a guy and he gets the coronavirus and he gets it bad? Like, he's on death's bed and they tell him you're not going to make it. And he really wants to have sex one more time, but he doesn't want to infect anybody. So he fucks his dog. And then he's cured. All of a sudden, like, all the symptoms go away. And now there's the moral question. Does he go to the government and tell them, I found the cure? And they say, what is it? And he's got to tell me, fuck your dog. And then there's a mass run on all the dog pounds. Everybody's rescuing dogs. They're selling their dogs on eBay.
But I've always thought that this is going to be the problem. Everybody's stuck in the house so much that when they can finally leave, it's going to be like, wow, look at the tree, look at the clouds. I want to fuck a cat.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be bedlam. It's going to be the Book of Revelations out there.
But I've got to ask, do you think that once all this coronavirus shit is done, after glorious leader Trump has punched it away or whatever his plan is, do you think?
Hey, now wait a minute. I'm an American. I'm not gonna sit here and listen to some Irish Mick take a shot at my president, my leader, who has assured us all that by Easter we will be free to go outside and congregate and go to mass rallies with red hats on. Don't you take a shot at my president.
Well, I'm just saying there the jealousy. He's a very handsome man.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, he looks good. By the way, can I just mention, while we were trying to get on the phone together, my daughter got a razor and she just shaved my head. It's the first time in my life I've had my head shaved.
I think it looks good. I think it looks
Really?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
You look like that Jason Statham, but with only half the AIDS.
I have twice the T-cell count that he has.
And double the acting talent. Actually, I love him. But do you think that once this coronavirus shit's all finished, that this is going to be the end of the social justice warrior cancel culture that we have?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have time for that. I think they're going to realize that we need men. You know, when shit gets bad and push comes to shove, that straight white men, once again, and this is part of me shaving my head speaking right now, is straight white men will be in charge again. Thank God.
Yeah. My driveway needs fixed. I can't do that myself. I need to get, what's his name?
No.
Ali or something.
Who?
Ali, or I don't know. He's one of those tanned boys.
Oh.
This is all I should have said beforehand, by the way. I've this type of sense of humour. I like to make racial jokes.
Yeah.
You know, I suppose I should have said that beforehand. And not
right.
Yeah.
Well, look, I get a little concerned because you're sitting there, you're wearing a Star Wars shirt, and you've got a Hotmail account. I mean, who the hell in this day and age has a Hotmail account?
Yeah, but the original, there's because somebody probably come up with the email Hotmail, MALE at Hotmail, and they probably thought I can't get that up.
Right.
But
that's true.
I got to ask you a question, and this might sound like a bit of a insult, but it's not. It's
good. All right.
But with Crashing, the TV show Crashing with Pete Holmes and Artie Lang.
Yeah.
It started showing here about 2 seasons after it already began. So we got season 1 to 3 pretty much back to back. And by the time season 3 started, it was announced it was cancelled.
Yeah.
But I have to ask that, do you think that they kind of went from being a show about comedy to kind of sort of a political sort of liberal point of view? that it may have burnt.
Well, you should mention that I wrote on the show. You didn't mention that. Yeah, I think it did. I think it did definitely get into that. I think they did it in a way that showed both sides. I think that there was, you're probably talking specifically about the episode where there's a comic who's sort of an old school comic, and he kind of harasses the waitress a little bit, and she pushes back, and then he gets yelled at. But I think we were depicting a character who was a man at a time. I don't think he was supposed to represent all men.
And not without hair. But one of the other problems, well, not problems, but there was the episode where, for no reason at all, your guy, Pete Holmes, had a new, what do you call him, somebody under his wing, like he was mentoring this guy, who was black and gay. And to me it was like, what's that got to do with it? At the end of the day, it's a comedian, doesn't matter if it's gay or black or even Hispanic.
Yeah.
But do you think that that's kind of held it back, or was there? That's another thing. As a writer,
wait. So you're saying we shouldn't cast somebody because they're black and gay?
No, I mean not just for that reason.
Wait, hold on. Back up for a second. I don't understand your qualm. Is it that we cast a black gay guy?
No. It's just that why did the character need
What's
to be?
That?
I was just saying, why did the character need to be?
Are you breaking up?
Well. But I mean, it was just like, why? I never knew why the character had to be gay or black, or white or straight. Like the sex.
You there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
You there?
Yeah. Can you see me?
Adam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but so what I was saying was, to me that's sort
I
of,
can.
But to me that sort of stuff about like the, instead of it just being about comedy and sort of about social messages, I think that brought an end to Crashing's audience.
Well, maybe we lost you, and that's a shame because we don't want to. We don't.
Hello?
You there?
Yeah, can you
Yeah.
hear? Okay. Yeah, but basically, at the end of the day, I did love Crashing, and it annoys me that it ended when it did.
Okay.
But I gotta ask you, as a podcaster and as a comedian, are you ever a person?
Yeah, well, would have been nice to get another season out of it.
Yeah. But
Say that again.
as a podcaster and as a comedian, do you ever feel that there's certain jokes that you can't make or that shouldn't be made?
I don't think there's ever a shouldn't be made. I think every joke should be made. And then you have to decide whether or not you feel like you've gotten what you really want to say across. And if you're doing, like, I'm ironic, and I definitely say things that have a context to them. And if you write it down, it might not come off well. If somebody were to watch my show and write down word for word what I said, and people didn't get my delivery of it, it could come out as offensive to some people. But that's why I think comedy should be seen in a room. You should be in the room watching it and feeling who the comedian is and why he's saying what he's saying. I think it doesn't always translate.
But it's just that fairly recently there was a comedian, Ari Shafir.
Sure, I know Ari.
Who made that joke about Kobe Bryant. And
right.
Most people knew that he was just joking. But it was such a crazy fucking joke to make that it seemed to have like a real backlash on his career.
Yeah, I mean, it was, if you follow Ari, you know that when people die, he makes comments about it. And he's, offensive about it. And so that's the running joke. But again, like, you take it out of that context, and people that don't know Ari are hearing what he's saying, and it's pretty rough. It was pretty, for a guy that's very beloved in this country, it was, I don't think there was a lot. I think part of the problem was Ari didn't put a lot of effort into making a joke. I think he just straight up was dissing the guy. And I think that's what people had a problem with, because they don't know him.
Did you hear his tweet or joke about about what's his name, Kenny Rogers?
No, what did he say?
Oh God, I'm just trying to find it here. But basically, it's just, I just love the sheer balls of it. I just deleted it. Oh, snowflake, that Jew. Oh, did I say that?
Well, what was the tweet?
Well, basically, he called Kenny Rogers a rapist and an idiot.
Was he a rapist?
No.
No.
But he was saying about what kind of idiot thinks that an island is in a stream.
Right.
So, But talk to me about, because you've been doing comedy for a while. Do you ever get envious of up-and-comers? Or sorry, let me reword that. Do you ever see up-and-comers and you just say to yourself, I don't get it?
Been doing it for 30 years that are very successful, and I don't respond to their comedy. And I think when I see a new person that's getting traction and I don't get their comedy, I just kind of go like, it just reminds me that we're all doing our own thing. And that's the kind of great thing about the internet and podcasting and stand-up, is that it's completely your own show. It's not about what somebody else is doing. And I'm not always going to get it. I used to get angry about it because I used to be competitive. But I think the longer you do it, the more you realize that
Hello?
Hey.
Hey.
All right, let's try this one more time.
Okay. So with because no, the reason why I ask is
Can you hear me?
yeah, can you hear me? Okay.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I hear you.
No, it's just the reason I ask you because there's this comedian. He's
Hello?
the new popular one in the scene called Pete Davidson. And it seems to me like he's got all this success pretty early, but he doesn't seem to be that grateful for it.
Yeah. Yeah.